presents the AAA Podcast. We're aware, alive, and about it. We're here to cover all topics, no holds barred, from politics to sports. We've got you covered. No topic is off limits. No issue is too hot. This is the AAA Podcast.
What did you do? Yeah. What up? I'm gonna let Reggie introduce the podcast, man.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I kind of messed up. Started the show a little early. My bad. How y'all been this week?
Bless, bro. How about yourself?
Definitely.
Man?
Good, man. Just staying out the way, bro.
Hey,
No doubt.
Hey, man, I'm not used to that light being all black in the kitchen area. And I'm used to seeing the plant there, man. Your greenery is green piece, bro. He must ain't washed dishes in a minute, so he got the lights off.
You can't see it because it's like right here.
Yo, what's up, B80?
What's happening, man? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, blessed, bro. Blessed. Surviving, grinding. Yo, you got any updates on any projects we've been working on, bro? Or anything else?
For sure. We still fundraising for the Madam and the Major. It's a film about the coup that happened in 1991 with the first female president of Haiti. They tried to usurp her power, and then there was a major Gerard Solomon who stepped in and prevented that. So it's the story about that. That whole situation is really, really cool. So yeah, we're digging into that. So keep an ear to the street for the promo, and especially when the GoFundMe promos go out, make sure you fund me.
I was just about to ask you, y'all got a GoFundMe page or a way that a person can support you?
Yeah, the GoFundMe page. We'll run the ad on our YouTube. But we also have a Kickstarter that's coming soon. It's just we trying to get a special person to endorse it, and he's just a little evasive right now.
Someone please dial 911.
Silly. If we could just kind of reel that big fish in to get him on the promo as we are, as we plan. We'll get that Kickstarter going a lot sooner, and then we'll get that information out also so people can donate and give to the project. But yeah, that's coming soon. Also working on an episode from Escape from Cedar Point that kind of like a real life story, but part of the fantasy series that I do. It'll be part 4 and possibly a part 5. So look out for that. It'll be coming soon.
Dope,
what you got going on, man?
Not too much, man. Just like I said, just staying out the way, working, grinding, hustling,
He got that AAA sports popping off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he got that AAA sports popping off, and bro, he got a lot of views for that his take, especially on that Ohio State, Penn State, man.
Oh man, I just can't believe it. It's just like, how do you not game plan for Marvin Harrison? That's all they got.
Hey, that's Big Marv, aka Maserati Marv, to you, sir.
Oh yeah, listen. He doing big things, and honestly, to me, I'm not an Ohio State fan, but he has to be the front runner for the Heisman.
Who's your school?
Well, I kind of got 2 teams I really like. I like to see Penn State win, and I like Notre Dame too.
Whoa.
He said, "Whoa."
It's for a reason. Penn State is because I'm originally from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you was from Youngstown.
I'm originally from Sharon, Pennsylvania. So growing up over there, everybody wants to go to Penn State. And when I used to stay right down the street from. We had this running back. His name was Mike Archie. We used to call him Spanky, and he was like the neighborhood hero. And he was their running back at the time. He was from Sharon. So growing up, I kind of didn't really have a choice.
Wow. And you still root for him?
Yeah, man, that was a tough loss, man. And you know what? I need to stop making my bets. Well, not really bets because I'm not gambling, but making my picks based off of my emotions.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of why I lost that. So,
yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
What up with you, Jamar? What you got going on?
Man,
Mr. Whipping it, man. You always whipping up something.
Hey man, listen, I learned for you, make it happen. So if the idea pop up, bro, and I'm like, fuck it, we try it. If it work. If it don't, it don't. But listen, failure. The only failure I've learned in life is, again, my brother hates that I tell this story. My brother always said the reason people have more than you because they hear no more than you. So that means I got to get out there. I got to go for it. It's a deeper story behind what he told me behind that at the time. But, bro, it's like you got to get out there and get it. All people could do is tell you no, and you keep trying, you keep pushing. Listen, Reggie will tell you. I came to Reggie about doing a pod like 2 years ago.
I had no interest in this shit at all. None. I'm like,
well, what made you want to do it?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question. Because I can tell you what made me not want to do it. That's I can give you an answer with that. What made me not really want to do it, number one, it was not interesting to me. And number two, I didn't think that I could do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of like worried about it.
Yeah.
How you feel now that you've been doing it? Actually, like there's people that like feeling you and feel like your opinion and your view and your takes.
I'm just naturally talking shit and just being myself.
Hey,
it works, man. It works.
It works, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So, I don't have anything, but we can jump off. We gotta create a clip or something like that, bro. The news.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, we gonna jump.
Okay, who put done? Okay, y'all silly.
That was me. I'm being ghetto today.
We got Ebonics jumping off now.
Ebonics and everything. The news. And the first thing popping off in the news is going to be all about. Let me make sure I share the screen. Go ahead, share it, because this is wild. We jump into about the main mass shooter.
That guy.
Yeah. So
that's all bad.
That's all bad, bro. Can you start us off on that? Maybe from what you heard, because I've been like, I was so how you get tired of the mass shooter story, but I know I need to learn about it and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, first off, they haven't really identified all the victims. So it's people whose families, they can't leave their house to go see if they people are right. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool in any way, shape, or form, man. So prayers to them, man, and just the blessings of God, man, over that area. Because I couldn't imagine being in that kind of a situation. I can't go see where my brother at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they got the whole state on lockdown currently. So Richard, I think his name is Richard's Card or something like that, like Caro or whatever his name is. They said he went into like a bowling alley and started shooting, man, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a racial thing or if he was just mad at whatever. I have no idea why he do that, but he just went in there and started shooting, and they still can't find him.
I know they said that he had history or started to have a history of some mental issues, but he also was like well-trained, formal National Guard.
So and look how he's holding the gun. He's holding it professionally.
Yeah,
like he knows what he's doing.
Hey, bro, if he came in there with a sideways, I'm like, nah, that bro, that's just some white boy grew up in the hood and got tired of getting beat up by black dudes. He came in there trained.
Yeah.
Came in there trained like he was on a mission.
Man, that's sad.
That's sad, bro. Like, I mean, not to really, even though being an asshole, trying to make light and make a smile out of it, but there's no excuse for that. And I know that mental health is very, very big, and we neglect it a lot in this country.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to be sympathetic to the dude, but I am trying to bring context and be understanding of how did we get here.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, he's actually, from my understanding, he's still a part of the military. He's an active member. He does have a history of mental problems, mental illness.
So he's documented.
Yes, and they also, from my understanding, this is what I heard on the radio earlier.
Wow.
That they didn't even confiscate his weapons.
So he was that mentally compromised.
Yes, and he just came from whatever mental situation they have for his branch of the military,
Okay,
and
yeah,
they didn't even confiscate his weapons. So I mean, at some point, you got to kind of blame this on America, because he's military trained. He's in the military. You didn't take his weapons. We have a society that's kind of ran by the NRA where people think that they need to walk around with semi to fully automatic weapons for protection, which is not true. These type of weapons don't really need to be in the street. If you are a collector and you want to keep them in the house, that's one thing, But look at the weapon he has. That weapon is made for murder. That's the only thing that's for. It's not made to hunt. It's not made for protect. None of that shit. So, it's kind of America's fault. You know what I'm saying? Why are these weapons, so many weapons available to anybody? If I wanted that weapon, I could get it. It's only cost a couple $100. We have gun shows. As far as what you were saying about racially charged, I don't think so, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I didn't say it was racially charged.
No. I'm not saying. I'm talking about your brother. I'm saying I don't think that race. I'm just saying my opinion. I don't think that race was his motivation, and this is why I don't think so. I had a job traveling, and I went to Maine, and I went to Bangor, Maine, and that's the third biggest city there. And I'm telling you, I did not see one black person. Not a mixed black person.
Wow.
Okay, I seen a girl that was from New York. I'm assuming because she was Puerto Rican. That's the closest thing. I didn't see no black people, none. So if he went on a racist spree, man, he must have got them all together at one time because they're very far and few.
Yeah, but I don't know his motives, man. I mean, they still trying to catch the guy, and I hope they do.
They say he got a scanner too.
Yeah, so he was prepared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he trained to prepare.
He
Plus,
was ready for that.
He taught weapons classes.
Yeah.
That's all bad, man.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Very terrible. Very terrible. Very terrible. Next up, we got what we got up next. Hold on, sorry, my screen messed up.
It's all to the good, man. We in the hood, how we live, man. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to town, the home, north side, south side, east side, maybe the west side sometimes. I don't know.
U.S. GDP grew to at 4.9%. It was expected to be at 4.7%. So I guess that 0.2% is a big deal because they've been cheering it. And the left-wing media has been covering it, saying how successful it is. And the right-wing media went zero dark 30 about the GDP growth. I don't know what it is. I try my best not to sound biased with it all, and I'm sure I still come across that way. But at the same time, call me biased for calling out what I see and don't see being covered.
Well, I mean, it's just like the Cowboys. If they score on the Eagles, you're not gonna cheer.
Hell nah. I mean, but the GDP affects everybody. Listen, if the Cowboys scoring, if I bet on the Cowboys to beat my Eagles, regardless I'm an Eagles fan, I'm rooting for the Cowboys to cover them points.
Oh, you silly.
So, I'm just saying, like,
hey, you and be nice, man. Y'all don't have no loyalty, yo.
No. When it comes to making bets, I don't bet with my heart.
That's what I was just saying. I need to stop trying to bet on stuff. Well, not really bet, but make my picks on who I like versus don't.
Yeah, I get it.
I was about to run to you, big bro, D80, and say, you a little bit more well versed in this type of thing. So, what does that mean?
Man, okay, so from what I understood, this is like way back in the early 2000s before the dot bubble crashed, the first tech bubble crashed, and George Bush was president. People were still arguing about these chads. I don't even know what a chad is, to be honest with you. So an economist by the name of Paul Volcker had wrote a book, and way back then I had read it, and it was basically about how he steered America through the financial waters and crises of inflation. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, I ain't never heard of inflation. When you in the hood, nobody ever said inflation. Like inflation is not an actual thing that we really see, but we kind of do, but we kind of don't really know, you know? So basically, inflation is what caused the Great Depression. And ever since the Great Depression of 1929, America has put stopgaps and measures in place, like I don't want to say legally, but yeah, legally, and statutes. So it gives certain people power to manipulate our economy, to get it to slow down. Because if it grows too fast, inflation becomes an issue. Then you could possibly have the Great Depression all over again. So over these past couple of years, y'all probably done heard the Treasury Secretary say, "Hey, we're raising the interest rates. We're raising the interest rates. We're raising the interest rates," because they want to get people to slow down with the spending and the borrowing. Because most people, as they look at the studies, don't have the income to actually pay it back, but they can spend that cash now, right? And that gets the GDP going. However, the debt that they incur don't come down till maybe like 20, 28, 29. And then when it really, really hits, then boom. So right now what we're seeing is people spending a lot of money. But the Treasury like, no, stop. So they keep raising the interest rates, but people don't seem to care, man. So, I mean, whatever it is, folks are spending money. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of scared of some like AR-15s and stuff like that, man. I'm getting nervous because it's like, more states are legalizing conceal and carry. So I ain't mean to try to scare nobody, but I'm just saying that all it means is that people are spending money, man. And Biden gets the credit for it because he's just sitting in the chair at the moment. But this could happen under just about any presidential regime, to be honest with you. Now the president can spur growth. He can spur, projects and initiatives and make money available so people can start spending this money. But again, any president can do that.
Facts. Okay. All right. Well, all I know is you're right. I've been seeing people spend. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. It's mine. I spend. It's mine. I spend. Next up, we got super volcano could erupt in Europe. And wait, wrong one. There we go.
Now, what made you pick this one as a topic?
Well, because it hits a little bit, because there's something to worry about, because we have our own issues in our own backyard here in North America. And what I mean by that is with Yellowstone being a super volcano. And normally, when these volcanoes, we've seen other volcanoes erupt that have caused kind of some issues, maybe with air traffic because of all the smoke and everything in the air. They're saying super volcanoes are like 100 times, if 500 times worse.
The Yellowstone?
Yellowstone is like, Yellowstone's a super volcano.
Oh, I thought you were okay. I got you. No, I misunderstood what you said.
We've seen other ones go off in other places, and they'll be like, "Oh, the planes can't fly because of all this other stuff." So the reason why this is a threat, because this will affect us in some shape, form, or fashion, even though we're way on the other side of the globe, because of the fact that it is a super volcano.
So I have no comment about that.
Yeah. So that's what I've learned. And I've only thought it was that important because, it's something that I don't want people to gloss over and not pay attention to. And then this is the type of shit.
It said it could erupt. It didn't say it erupted.
No, I'm saying it could erupt. That's what I mean. It could erupt. And I don't want it to erupt. And then we all sitting there looking like, oh, no one told us about this. They hid it from us. They want to hide the information from the black folks so we get the supplies to survive. They want to hide it from the black folks.
Wait. I'm misunderstanding. Any volcano in the world could erupt. It's like that's not telling us nothing.
No, but the difference is a super volcano it creates worldwide issues compared to a regular volcano.
I think that a lot of times, like they teach us stuff and give us like news and stuff like that for like no reason. Like I give you a perfect example. Like, you know, why do I know about stuff like Napoleon and stuff like that? And like, why do I know? Why do they tell us stuff about, you know, Fazoli or however you say it, stuff like that? Why do they put that in the news for us? It doesn't really. I mean, I understand what you're saying. It could affect the air quality.
No, not just so. A super volcano was more than just the air quality. You're talking about something that erupts, that debris. Not just when I say debris, I'm talking about like rocks, lava, different things like that can be felt all the way over, shot and spit out all the way over to Ohio from Yellowstone, with Yellowstone being a super volcano itself. So
yeah,
that's
I can see that happening.
Yeah, so that's why like a super volcano is different. Yeah, that's all bad. So when you talk about an explosion and you're talking about almost the whole damn state of where Montana, is it Yellowstone in Montana?
Montana, Idaho, all that area over there is gone.
All that area you're talking about gone.
Yeah.
From a super volcano compared to a regular volcano.
Well, if we want to get into the historicity of it, I'm joking.
I'm just kidding. The of it.
Like
Right. I only brought that up because
I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I was ignorant.
Nah, man. No, it's real. It's
right. That's why I didn't say it. You just said it for me. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like
so I only do that to like kind of throw little gems out there here and there. Like, like there are other things that go on in the world besides what we want to pay attention to, our everyday thing about DJ Envy and the Israel, Syria, and everything else. Like, bro, there are shit that can happen that can affect you on a world level that I try to at least throw it out there for awareness. Little hint, little tip.
Okay, no, I got you. I wasn't knocking the topic. I just wondered, like, because I hadn't heard about any of that, so I was just like, well, not that I need to hear about it. But I'm just saying, it just kind of when you put it up, I'm like, okay, what's that?
Okay, next up is this dude,
Dwight. Oh man, he's a wild boy, man.
Okay, I need like a understanding of. So he's okay. This is deep. This is deeper than Dennis Rodman.
Listen. This makes Dennis Rodman look like Disney, bruh.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman look like a square compared to this dude.
Man.
Wow. Okay. Because okay. So yeah.
So do you know? Let me before I even go. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah.
No. I just.
Man.
Again.
I'm so glad I'm the one that's gonna be the one. Ooh, that just made my motherfucking day. So listen. He's caught in a scandal with 2 men. So listen.
Okay.
So listen. He met 2 motherfuckers off of Instagram, right? I guess one is like a transsexual, and one is a straight up dude. So I guess they had a menage a boogie at his crib.
Wait. Let me correct you.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Let me correct. Because I got schooled on this earlier. Mm-hmm. The one is not a transsexual. He's a cross-dresser.
Okay, my bad. Because you don't want to say it incorrect.
You don't want to piss nobody off.
You want to be correct as you can. So I apologize to the community.
He's a cross-dresser.
So the one who was the cross-dresser said that he was sexually assaulted. Right. Now that's just a subplot to the story. Now Dwight's defense is that he didn't assault anybody, and it was a consensual threesome between 3 men. And he said that. Yes,
he had to. He's fighting in court.
That's
so this is how this came out. Okay, I got you. Okay.
You got to see Mace. You got to see Mace talk about it. Oh my god, I ain't gonna ruin it for you. You got to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mason Cam do their thing.
Oh, well, they show was crazy, bro. They show
that shit is good. That shit good. They got Maurice Threat on it and everything.
Shout out to It Is What It Is podcast, yo.
Also, yes, that shit is fine.
Hero Claret, they bring him on all the time for the college football stories and different things like that. So he's a regular on the show.
Yeah, he's still getting in Ohio. You feel me?
Yep. Yes, sir. And Cam always talk about and show his love for Ohio all the time.
He always do. That's what I like about Cameron.
Yeah, he does.
Because he's really an Ohio boy by birth, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's from here. He'll tell you he is too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Next up, we got.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know if I didn't put a pick for it. I don't have a pick. We're gonna take the white off though.
Yeah, that guy.
I thought I had a pick for it, but the U.S. strikes some Iranian. I'll pull up a picture while we talk about it.
Yeah,
but U.S. strikes some Iranian-controlled sites in Syria.
I just don't understand it. Like, all this back and forth war and all this shit. Like, I really, at this point, I'm more confused than anything about, what people are even fighting for anymore. I don't know. So it's just like, I think that a lot of times in the United States, I wish that we could just mind our business and worry about the problems that we have here more than anything. I don't know the exact reason, but it's just old to me,
Yeah, imagine all that money they sent to Ukraine being sent to areas like San Francisco for poverty. All across the Eastern Shore where people don't have homes and devastation, and this country could kill us all of its ills, but it's just all politics, man.
Right. And then it wouldn't be so bad if we didn't have to pay taxes for the shit. If I didn't have to pay for it, I wouldn't give a fuck all like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a simple fact that you taking my money to pay for it.
It's about, I mean, you have a consciousness to it, but the goal, honestly, for you to pay the taxes, Reggie, is not in a sense that way. It's for your loyalty, for you to remain with skin in the game, for you to feel like this is like you got ownership in this, for you to feel like Reggie, you're involved.
You help pay for this.
Yeah, so that's what that's right. So it's supposed to be like the reverse of what you say. It's like, it's like, I got saying this is my country, this is that's what that's really for. So it's supposed to be a patriotism kind of thing. But most people who become conscious of what's actually going on, we actually feel like, nah, man, we don't.
Right. That's why I'm like, well, if this is what you're doing, like, why? Like, it's all crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Next up, we have. Let me take this off the screen. Cesar Pena arrested by the feds.
Oh boy. I'll be fresh as hell if the feds watching. I'll be fresh as hell.
There was a lot of misstatements going around saying that the feds raided Hot 105 or whatever.
Yeah.
And the feds did not raid Power 105. They went in there to. I'm assuming that I'm going to say I'm assuming, but DJ Envy must be in some shape, form, or fashion cooperating with the government in this process, because he claims that he's also a victim of it. And so during the investigation, they came up there to let him know that Cesar Pena had been arrested and taken into custody.
The feds is going to follow the money. So whether if he has something to do with it or not, he's the name. He's the big fish. So I can understand it. He may be 100% innocent. I don't know. He may be involved. I don't know. It's just a crazy situation. But I tell you one thing: his friend Cesar, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he's a real motherfucker. He's a real motherfucker, because you know how easy it would be for him to pass the buck. Most people don't take out like, oh, hey, man, this my dude. He ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that.
Yeah.
Yo, so in learning this, is this whole situation going on? And I've been saying it for a while, and but I know how the public is, especially those on Black Twitter or in the Twitter sphere world.
Yeah.
You post something, you just clip a highlight clip or a headline, and people take it and they run with it, and they don't care about context. They don't care about taking a step back and seeing how the whole situation, the meaning behind it, or what's actually going on. And so with seeing that, that's why I get into an argument with my boy B all the time, because he's like, yeah, this, and yeah, Envy, they about to get Envy. He about to go to jail. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, bro, if you was paying, and my boy is just he loves Twitter, and so a lot of times he gets, and you know, Brian, OJ, yeah. So B gets caught up in sometime in the Twitter sphere world, and he lets that narrative run, and then these people start saying like, oh, DJ Envy was he would cheat people the whole time. That's why he got that nice house and all them cars and everything else. And I'm like, this dude had the nice house and the nice cars way before he ever got in bed with the Cesar Pena dude, or Cesar Pena dude, or whatever the case. Like, what are you talking? Like, what are we doing here? He was a DJ that charges almost $100,000 for a set.
Right.
When he DJs.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Right.
But
on top. Go ahead.
So, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. I'm just saying.
No, I mean,
no, that's why all I did was this. I don't even have nothing more to say to it because it's like trying to argue with sheep. It's like trying to argue with a whole bunch of sheep that's just going to still go with whatever the social media or Twitter tells them to go with.
What's it called? Wave riding? That's called?
Yeah, I know my friend Taisha, and shouts out to Ty. She listens to the show, you know, when we post them. I sent you the screenshot that she had sent me talking about how he's pretty much guilty and also could be involved in other stuff in the street as to help supplement his income in lavish spending.
Man,
he's too much of a punk. If you ever see him on Breakfast Club or see him, let me not call him a punk because you never know. We might end up as a podcast on the Breakfast Club one day, right?
All right, and that clip is gonna come back.
And he might stop you from being on there because he can't.
Yeah, it might stop me. So I've just seen the way he interacts with his wife, the way that he talks about different interactions he's had in his past, and the way he carries himself. And there was nothing about this dude that says like he willing to risk it all and lose his biscuit. Like this dude is like, you remember the black dude off of the Boondocks, Tom? Yeah, he's like that dude. Like, I don't want you to rape me.
Oh, the politician guy.
Yeah, the little
But you know, we all got friends. You know, we all got friends that's still in the street. You know what I'm saying? And I think that to some extent, that's what happened. I think that his friend is doing some underhanded ass shit. And he probably grew up with him in the hood or the barrio or whatever.
That ain't even how they met. Like Envy met him on, because I remember like the whole thing happening, like him first introducing and talking about the dude, and they talked about how like he was trying to get into the real estate thing, and then he ran into dude, and Caesar gave him some information, and everything helped him out, and then he went to Caesar again, and he helped him out, and Envy started copping cribs, and so to Envy's knowledge, the Caesar dude was legit. He was helping him cop rental properties and everything. So he was making his legit money. And that's what Caesar was like, yo, this is dope. I want to share it with the world. And so that's where he messed up. He didn't do, because it was working for him, he never went and did his homework on the Pena dude. And because the Pena dude everything was legit on his end. So that's where Envy messed up, because then they started doing the whole speaking seminars and traveling across the country. To be fair, they took professional people who do it every day, all day, that help with the seminars that they were doing. So it wasn't just him and Envy talking. It was a whole bunch of people who work in that field, telling people how to build their credit up, to get right, to be owners and everything in the real estate game and rent out property. And they was doing that, and it was like to help folks. Well, what happened was Pena started having these other things and used his clout from being on the radio with Envy and touring with Envy and everything else. And then he started attracting more people. And yes, some of them people knew Envy, but he started going out on his own and be like, and lying and say, yo, Envy is a part of this. Envy is a part of that. And Envy never knew. Like he had a whole crypto scam thing going on and lied and said Envy was a part of it. And Envy never knew even about it or whatever the case. And so that's why when the people came to sue, they couldn't, Envy's name is not on none of the contracts. The company that they signed with Envy's name is not on that company or whatever. That's all the Caesar dude. The Caesar dude all hit by himself. Okay. And Envy was at none of them meetings when all them people did their deals or anything else. But what Reggie said, who's the bigger name? If I attach him and say that I only went to you because I seen you with Envy and Envy spoke on you, I'm gonna get money one way or the other because I know your broke ass might not have it, but I know Envy gonna fucking have it. So is there liability to a degree on Envy because he introduced the snake into the room? Yes.
Does that mean he committed a crime though?
No, he didn't. And that's why there's no charges against him. That's why the feds is whatever case, and that's why the Caesar dude is going to end up taking a plea deal and do his time or whatever case and be out. And the feds going to take whatever they're going to take from him, but he's still going to come out probably richer than when he probably rich or still richer than when he ever was before he started being a bum and scamming niggas.
Yeah, I think the only person who really suffered in this one is the victims and DJ Envy.
Yeah, because Envy was like, yo, I'm a thing too. Like, this dude got me for money. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, Envy was like, dude, he got me for money too. Like hundreds of thousands.
Oh, I was talking about his name. Now I didn't mean I didn't know he got ripped off too. Wow.
Yeah, he got ripped off too. Yeah.
Well, then, like I said, then dude is even realer then.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he in New York, they got them scammers. He one of them.
They got him everywhere.
New York got him.
They got him everywhere.
I remember I bought a pair of Jordans on the street and so out of somebody's trunk. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Was they real?
No.
Next up, we got Michael Irvin.
Oh man, this is crazy. Like you gotta I didn't even know he had a kid that rapped, man. Like what's like I read the topic. I'm looking like what Michael Irvin rapping with his kid or call.
I love this story. I love this story because I love when people tell the truth and keep it real.
Yeah.
People need to stop capping. You know, these kids out here will grow up and.
But what is this? What did his son do that was so bad? Like
he's capping like he grew up in the struggle. And Michael Irvin is like, motherfucker, you grew up in a gated community your whole life. Stop acting like you got it out the mud. And that's real. That's real. Michael Irvin said you've been rich your whole life. Quit capping, bro. And I like that.
Didn't Boss do that on her album, Jamar? Didn't Born Gangster, her mom left a message.
I believe
her mom and her dad. Her mom was on the intro and her father was in the outro, or vice versa.
You grew up in a private school. Like you went to a private school and now all this word, like that was hilarious, man.
Yeah. Hey, Boss was honest about it and her ride.
Right, she was honest though.
Man, I still love that album to this day, man. Boss is that's
Hey, wasn't her on the Minister Society track all over a hoe because two big niggas always. Yeah.
Listen, do you know that Columbia House got a warrant out for my arrest for that shit right now?
With 30 CDs for a penny or something.
And listen, they ever catch my ass, I ain't never getting out.
Hey, we all did that under different names and everything.
Yeah, there's all kind of motherfuckers' names, man. Them shits, man, that shit used to be love.
All right. Next up, we're gonna go with Kyler Murray.
Oh, so we in the sports.
Yeah.
Daddy's back. I don't think they're gonna do nothing with him. I don't think they're gonna do nothing without him.
What do you mean?
I can't see the Cardinals like being elite. It seems like to me, they a couple years past. You know, they had some receivers, some weapons. I don't really think they got the weapons like that no more. So I think him coming back is. I mean, yeah, they'll be better technically, but they're not going to be no playoff team or nothing.
Well, now with Reg, right now, they like the second worst team in the NFL. So if I guess Kyler Murray coming back would just inspire them maybe 3 or 4 more wins. That's not too bad, right?
I agree with you. They looking up. They looking up.
Or I thought about this, and this may not be in Kyler Murray's best interest. It may be in his best interest to come back and win games because the higher that draft pick is, the more temptation it is to get another quarterback, especially when you got like Caleb Williams coming out. and you got a couple of these other Heisman candidates possibly coming out too, right? So it's in his best interest to come back and ball out and win games. So sometimes I think like, hey, maybe that's on his side too.
Maybe you're right, because they definitely will be in line to get him.
Yeah, and that's the temptation, that you don't want to dangle that carrot out there. You want to come out and show that, hey, you still got it. You can win games. You can do this. Not to say that they're a playoff team, but I just feel like I feel like they'll go on a winning streak if he comes back.
I think if he plays the rest of the season, I think they'll probably 17 games this year. I think they'll maybe get 8 or 9 dubs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. And if that, right, that gets you out the top 5
because their division's kind of weak. You know, the Rams ain't shit.
I don't know, man. The Rams might be heating up a little bit.
I don't know.
I'm just. We'll see.
Seahawks are good too.
I hope not Sunday. And I hate rooting against Geno Smith too, because that's my guy, man. But you know how it is, man.
I never thought I would say that Geno Smith is probably a top 10 quarterback. I never thought I would ever be able to say that.
I did when he was in college.
Yeah, he threw for 800 yards. But I'm saying since he's been in the NFL, and now he's actually looking maybe 12 at the worst. Yeah.
No, he's not bad, man. I just right. I feel that he got a good receiving core. Oh, Jamar, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, all I was going to sit there. Go ahead. Keep thinking. I was going to wait for you. Then I was going to say the next thing before we jumped into the next topic.
Okay. No, what I was going to say for the Seahawks, they got a really good receiving core. I mean, DK Metcalf is a freaking beast. I think Lockett is awesome. They just got a really good solid receiving core, and they do good for Geno from what I've seen. And now, granted, again, he made some really good throws, but I just didn't really see him, mentioning any kind of topics. But as far as a game winner, I just feel like he's a game winner.
He's a game winner, and he got numbers with it too.
Well, yeah. Bro. I just feel like he knows how to win games, man.
He definitely does.
Next up, we got Michigan.
You got caught. I think I'm not going to try to minimize the situation, and say that they all do it. They do. You got caught. Whatever the consequences that come from that, you got to deal with it.
You want to go, bro?
I honestly, I don't know much about it. I just know they stole something and they didn't, or somebody was, in my head, somebody in the stands with a camera. I don't know. I just know that, if it's Michigan, they did it and they guilty.
And that's why I said, if you did it, I'm not a Michigan fan, but my dislike for Ohio State wants them to beat them. But
oh gosh,
on the fair side of things, whatever the punishment is, you deserve it if you get caught. Period.
Yeah.
So they got the feds have gotten involved along with the NCAA investigating. I believe there's some type of cyber crime they're investigating with this process. So.
What do you mean cybercrime?
Some type of cybercrime. Nobody's gone into detail yet, but the FBI is investigating this.
Sheesh, they must have been doing something crazy, man.
And like they was copying their hand signals too. That's what they was doing too.
So, and they were taking it, and they were selling the information and the footage and everything off to other schools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're messed up because what's worse is they budgeted this in their yearly budget to be able to do. Bro, you can't be.
but listen, but how else is you going to do it without putting it in the budget? Think about it.
Yeah,
them tickets ain't fucking cheap, bro.
Hold on, I hope this is. I don't want to hope nobody's downfall, especially if there's especially if anybody black is involved. But I will say this:
it's football. Black people involved.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's hard for me to take. Like, I don't want to be really happy about it. You know what I'm saying? Because, but I'll say this: whatever the actual allegations are, selling footage or whatever it is that they did. Man.
They stupid as listen. If they got caught because they sold it to other teams, they stupid as fuck. You know why? Because I would have kept that shit to my motherfucking self.
Well, that's what I would think. Like the Astros was cheating for years and nobody knew. I mean, people knew, but didn't know to the extent that they cheated. But I'm just saying,
they got told on.
right. Until it came out, you're like, oh, they did all that. Yeah. So
listen, these motherfuckers running their mouth and they ain't even got the chip yet. God damn.
Snitching.
Right. Up with hope, down with dope, man.
Right. No, like damn.
Wow.
So next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. This is news because, well, for one, I'm an Eagles fan. For two, Eagles are the hottest team in the NFL right now, besides the Chiefs. So I say that to say that it's going to be a good game. The Cowboys want that smoke, and the Eagles, well, I'm a little bit disappointed in Jalen Hurts type of season he's having, but we still keep getting these dubs, so I'm going to still keep on showing up my Eagles love. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I never really heard you refer to that fly, Eagles, fly before, but, well, you know, that's another.
We've been kind of distant lately. You've been kind of neglecting me. I've been over here all on my own by myself, just singing to myself like "Fly, Eagles, fly, fly, Eagles, fly."
No, but I mean, I really have not, and this is something that's on my bad. I have really not gotten much of your opinion on the Eagles, and they've been really successful lately. So I guess I'll defer to this topic for you. If the Eagles win this game, I mean they pretty much control their own destiny, right? But if the Cowboys win, then that means they're legit, right? Or no? Or
no? Well, I don't think it helps the Cowboys be legit because I think the people still have a lot of questions about them. They have questions about us, so it's more beneficial to the Eagles. Well, it's beneficial to both. To the Cowboys, it means that they've righted the ship.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That means like they're like you know, they can rock with the best because right now I don't think people think that, right?
Or because of the amount of losses that they got.
Well, okay, I got you. Okay,
yeah. So you're right. Like everything you're saying is right. So I'm agreeing with you and only adding more to it to say that for the Eagles, the loss means like, okay, we get to still see them one more time. And can still we can go on and win our other games and see them the other part of the time of the year and everything else. The Cowboys, because of the fact that they're the Cowboys, the pressure is always on them because the Cowboy fans are always like, "We're going to the Super Bowl this year." Every year they say that, and so the pressure is different.
Okay, I got you. But hold up, wait. So, Mom is a Cowboys fan, right?
Yep.
So how come you're not a Cowboys fan?
Oh, you know why I'm a Cowboys fan, and you know how about this? If I say it, you're on this podcast. If I say it, you can. If I'm lying, you can call me out 100%. I can tell you why I'm an Eagles fan. We used to watch that NFL tape over and over again, and we learned about Lawrence Taylor, and we learned about. The Monsters of the Midway. We learned about Walter Payton, all those guys. Randall Cunningham, hurdling that dude in a little highlight they showed of him and everything and stuff like that. And just seeing and learning about Randall Cunningham, and I was bitten. Plus, he was seeing him made me for a short period of time think I wanted to be a quarterback.
Okay.
That's why I'm an Eagles fan. And Charlie Ward, the same thing. Seeing a black quarterback out there, because there was black quarterbacks, but there wasn't. We were there.
Warren
those
Moon.
guys was like funky with it, man. Like they was just like, so seeing that for me seeing it on that level, on that stage was like, yo, and it was like I didn't see too many. You know me, I like to be a little bit different. I didn't see many Eagle fans. I didn't see no Florida State fans, and so I like to be different. Like I always respect it. I've always respected when you rooted for the underdog, i.e. how you became a Bills fan, i.e. how you became a Giants fan. You didn't pick them because they was like winning and whatever the case. You picked them because everybody else is like, oh, we want the Cowboys, or oh, we want this.
That's not necessarily true, but I'll take it.
Oh, well, never mind then. I'm sorry.
No, I got pictures. There was a back in the 80s, and it was probably before then, you know, they had the Super Bowl. It was an actual big box game that you would plug into the wall, and then you know you had the 11 characters, you had a little football or whatever, and at the time I thought my uncle Richard had bought that for me. Come to find out my mom bought it. It told me that they did. But anyway, I thought it was the greatest gift I ever had, but it was the New York Football Giants versus the Denver Broncos. And that was like either maybe 86 or 87, or maybe even 88, maybe 88. But that's when I became a Giants fan, because, you know, it was like I had all the names. Like I didn't know football players had like all that, you know, I was just learning the game, and I memorized all the names. And then of course, when you see him on TV, it's like, oh my gosh, I know that guy. That's Otis Anderson. That's Phil Simms. That's you know, just a different, you know, different. I think the running back was Otis Anderson.
Otis Anderson was the one, yeah. Before him, yeah, he was before Rodney Hampton, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, Lawrence Taylor. So these were like stars, man. So I had became a New York football Giant fan at that time. I you know, I didn't really know much about the Browns.
Right.
But when my mom, her husband at the time, they called him Big George, when they got married, he was a huge Browns fan, and that's like, you know, 89, I mean 90, and around that time, and that's when I kind of fell in love with the Browns, kind of being forced to watch them every Sunday.
Yeah.
But of course the Bills come in because Tecmo Bowl was like the biggest game in the world. You know what I'm saying? And
ready, down,
you already know how I go. And again, I was still young, so I didn't realize the Bills and the Giants weren't the same team because they had the same color. So I just started rocking with the Bills because, again, I thought it was the same team, and I just fell in love with the passing game with Andre Reed and Don Beebe and
Don Beebe, Andre Reed. Yeah, I remember talking stuff and mess with you being a fan of theirs. Thurman Thomas, Don Beebe. They had Bruce Smith,
Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly. They had it was. I just remember watching them.
Yeah,
just like the names, and you would be like wow, these dudes is. It wasn't Haley. Who did they have that was on the inside? Besides Bruce Smith, it was
I can't think of his name at the time, but yeah, it was a nice front four, man. They those guys were
they ran a 3-4. They ran a 3-4. It was, I can't think of the dude on the outside, and it was like a mean ass white boy linebacker they had too. That was crazy as hell. I can't think of his name.
I can't either, but yeah, those were the guys, man. So, you know, those became my favorite teams, and all throughout life, I just been rocking with them ever since. Gotcha. To no travail. Well, not with the Giants, of course, because they won 2 championships. You know, God bless Eli Manning and all that he has done for the state of New York, I guess. But the Browns, man, it's just been heartache after heartache after heartache, and the Buffalo Bills going to 4 straight Super Bowls, losing 4 straight Super Bowls. Like that's never happened in the history of Super Bowldom. So that hurt. And I remember crying at some of those losses. And I never even been to Buffalo at that point. I was just a kid, but I was a fan. So I rock with them that hard. And of course, Lewis laughed.
Shout out to
yeah, just when I laughed when his Bengals lost to the 49ers and whatever Super Bowl that was.
That was, I remember that. That was the Boomer Esiason days.
Yeah. I laughed in his face when he was crying when they lost.
Hey, being kids, as a kid, you so petty.
I know, man. Oh my gosh, when they lost, we was on that ride home. I was like,
Oh, okay. So, we're gonna go as we jump out of sports to jump into this main topic. Before we leave sports, we got rest in peace, Cavs legend Bobby Bingo Smith.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, man. Also, World Series starts tonight, right?
Yeah.
Spurs
Oh, yeah, that is right. Well, I'm missing it. Oh, hold up, man. Yeah. Oh, it's going down. Even though I didn't expect for this to be the World Series, man. I feel like I just watched the Miami Heat of the baseball world kind of sneak in there and get it. That's a Colorado Rockies hat you got on, Reg?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you Rockies fan or
no? I just collect hats. I collect hats and I collect shoes.
I got you. Well, the thing is, like, I just knew the Philadelphia Phillies were gonna be that team to just to take it there and actually win. The fact that they didn't win, I'm just so flabbergasted. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, they were the literally pretty much the best team in baseball this whole pretty much second half of the season. And to watch a team like that just kind of lose, that's like watching the Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Bengals. That's not a good comparison because everybody knows Joe Burrow's a dog.
How about say they give them a good fight.
So it's deeper than that. But again, it's just, I don't know. I'm just so shocked. I just never imagined Arizona being in this position, man. I really didn't.
But you know, with baseball, to me, not a lot of times the best team doesn't always win.
Normally it's the best pitching, right?
Yep.
And I'm telling you, the Phillies had that heat. Like, they had the bullpen and the pitching to take this whole thing. Like, everybody knew it was theirs to lose, but they just stopped hitting. It's like I don't know, man. I just don't know how that happens. It's just like Pat Mahomes, man. He's used to throwing dimes and touchdowns. It's just like he just stopped. It's no rhyme or reason to it. You could blame the OC, like, hey man, why call more pass plays, man? Let him use his arm. Let him utilize that. But for whatever reason,
baseball definitely is a sport that the wild card team will most likely win it all compared to any other sport.
Yeah, I gotta say that, yeah. Well,
because especially when they get on streaks, like when a team get on a winning streak, there's nothing you can do. I don't care if you're better than them or not. They're gonna beat you.
Yeah, I have to admit that, man. And for the not the Cavs. So at the time it was the Indians. The Indians to lose the World Series to the Cubs the way we lost it. The Cubs were on fire. And they had the bullpen to lock you down. And I guess the Arizona Diamondbacks do too, but I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. I saw a couple of their relievers during this postseason. I'm like, okay, they got some heat. But man, to shut out the Phillies like that, oh my gosh, you. Then they still in signs. Don't be stop.
All right, so as we end up the thing, jump to the main topic. We'll say NBA season has begun. I'm excited to see it coming on. I don't believe, as much as I'm a big time LeBron supporter, LeBron fan, I'm sorry I don't see him win another chip because I don't believe that AD is not the partner to make it happen. That's just my opinion, but I just feel like AD doesn't have that dog in him at all. You talk about a lot of players and having dog and everything else. AD is soft. He's like that dude that's got a ton of talent, and he just it's like that spoiled ass kid that show up when you play sports with, and he can hoop, but he's such a softy and a mama's boy, and just so spoiled that you're like, yo, he ain't gonna go because he just ain't got it in him. So the main topic.
Sheesh.
Hip hop is not dead, but dying. And what made me bring this up is because I've seen it coming for a while. And I think me and my brother, and even, I don't know if I had a conversation with Reggie, but we've seen the decline of interest. For one, the music industry has been talking about the lack of number ones from hip hop over the past, I think, year and a half, 2 years almost. And the artists are starting to take notice. Well, you know, with hip hop, especially with artists, when they like to ride trends. So the next thing that's coming out is kind of like Afro beats and some other things. So they're all trying to jump on Afro beats and trying to do foreign music. You see what Drake did that one album, and it was all more European sounding. Beyonce did, even R&B wise, Beyonce did that album that was more dance and more Afro beat sounding and had more of European sound and everything else. And I believe it's because, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to make a statement, and I want to build off of this statement. That's why I feel I need to make the statement. When you treat the art like the drug game, yes, you'll make money at first, but you don't realize the damage you're doing to the art form. You don't realize the in the sense of when you're selling crack, you don't realize the damage you're doing to the neighborhood, to the community, to your own people, to your own thing that you survive and you live off from, and how you're damaging it. And so once you're doing it because all you keep thinking about is the money I'm making. Don't hate that man. He making money. Why y'all hating on him? Y'all sound like the old man, get off my porch right now, because these kids is out here making all these millions of dollars and whatnot. And the whole entire time we're like, yo, like, this is not creative. This is not art. This is just like, yo, let me copy and paste and repeat what you're doing, because that's what's hot. And that's what's going to get me the views, the likes, the money, and everything else. And I think the chickens are starting to come home to roost with it. And that's where now all these hip hop artists that were following the trend, whether it's the trendy producer, whether it's the trendy directors, whether it's the trendy, whatever it was, and trendy artists who were popping at that time. And so now all of them are suffering because they can't move numbers no more.
I just think that, you know, it's just the game's just evolving, just changing. You know, at one point, other genres were the number one selling genre of music, you know, before hip hop became super, super big. Hey, if it's somebody else's time, it's somebody else's time. It's not like the music is going to disappear. It's not like we're not going to have rap artists anymore. Like, to give you a perfect example, look how dead R&B is. R&B dead as fuck. I mean, dead for for a good while, but it's still there. You still have artists that are still making music. They're still putting stuff out. If you want to listen to R&B, if you want to listen to those same artists, they're still making music. If it's another person's time, if it's Afrobeats time, that's what it is, you know. But what we like to listen to, what me and you, our artists, we still can. So hey,
Bro.
Yeah. I think it's good to hear that people care about the state of hip hop, I guess, you know. But I think the whole, I don't know, I just think everything evolves, everything changes, everything grows. In this world, it's either evolve or die. So this is nothing different than anything else that was dominant for a long period of time.
yeah.
You know, the reason could be watered down music or whatever it is, or it could be maybe too much diversity. You know what I'm saying? To where nothing rises to the top except for what's trash.
Well, Offset just said that the problem with his opinion was that the problem is that everything sounds the same. There's no creativity. Everything sounds the same. And so I think the biggest, he said in the interview, he was like, you keep rapping about the same stuff over and over and over again. When then sometimes and this is me now speaking, he said that we keep doing the same, recycling the same stuff over and over again because it's a quick dollar. That's what he said. Now this is me saying that goes back to that trend of like, yo, like, it's hot, let's capitalize, let's make money off of it. And there was a point in time, and you can test it, you can test to this. There was a point in time when we were doing music and we wanted to get signed. And when we were getting signed, we were chasing the sound instead of chasing our sound, our vibe, our flow, our connection. If you notice, the artists who, no matter what, whether they take 2 or 3 years off or whatever case, the artists that sell are the artists that formulate some form of their own originality, their own style, their own lane that they've created amongst hip hop.
Look at you putting it down. Okay.
So that's why that's why J. Cole does what he does. That's why Kendrick does what he does. That's why even JID is coming along and through up under J. Cole, but starting to develop his own thing. That's why Lil Uzi Vert went into his own thing to where like he kills it at all the freaking not big concerts, but all the summertime, I don't want to say fair shows, but all those type of Lollapaloozas and all those different things and stuff like that. They've amassed a following because they've amassed like a cult of people that love their style, their originality. Yep. Hence why Tech Nine.
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, hence why Tech Nine is who Tech Nine is. Bro, we got to open for Tech Nine before. Like, I mean, I'm just sitting there saying, like you see the following. Hence why guys like the clown dude, they have the juggalos. The
ICP,
yeah. Like they have their following because it's original. They're going to always tour, and we love the music because of the originality. Bro, we went to school, you could tell, and I said this before on here, but you could tell a dude who was a Wu-Tang fan.
Yeah.
The way he dressed when he came to school, you were like, oh, he a Wu-Tang fan. Oh, he a backpack.
That's like Steel from Juice and shit.
Yeah. Oh, he a Bone Thugs fan. Oh, him right here, he a West Coast dude right here, because this motherfucker go to Rand, but he wearing Dickies at school, dude.
Those are facts.
Whatever the case.
Those are facts.
It was the originality. And so once we got into the money is great, but when you prioritize the money over the art, it's like any art form, even artists paint. Some of the biggest artists in the world, things that made them lose their creativity is they stopped getting to paint what they wanted to paint. They start having to paint things for people because people were paying them large sums of money. The creativity changed.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but that's always been a thing in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like ever since the beginning, they talk about people ripping each other off with sounds and things and sucker MCs and, you know, taking my sound and all this. It's always been hip hop. I remember even as an East Coast fan, I was a fan of just about every genre in hip hop, so it didn't really matter. But even as an East Coast fan, you had Boot Camp Click. They were upset with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Like they had beef with him because they thought he was messing up hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You had Wu-Tang Clan, Ghostface and Ray. They had beef with Biggie because they felt like he stole some of their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, man.
But they never said that. Like they had little beefs here and there. And
that's not what I'm saying.
No, I know. I wasn't saying that. That's what you're saying. So I'm adding on to it. So it was like they had those tiffs, they had those moments, but it was like you knew Biggie wasn't trying to sound like whoever, and Wu-Tang was even the group, even the dudes within Wu-Tang all had their own style within the Wu-Tang frame. Like none of them wanted to sound like the next dude. None of them wanted to sit there and it was the creativity. There was still creativity amongst them instead of sitting there, them going to rhythm and being like, yo, make me a beat.
Yeah, I got you. Most part, even going back to the West Coast, there were so many people trying to, you know, copy people's styles and be like the next person, whoever just made a hit record. So to me, that's something that's always been in hip hop. Right now, it's just at the forefront because, again, over time, when you do that same thing, it's only so many people that can step on it. And then of course, when sounds became easier to make, more people are going to do the same things, especially if their access to it is vast. And with the internet, of course, that gives you vast access, man. There's people who made fame off of things that we would never imagine that would make somebody famous. It's just with times to change, man, and maybe it's time for hip hop to either evolve or die.
Well, listen, when hip hop first came out, they thought it was just a fad, just a trend. They thought it would be over in 2 weeks, in a year, in 2 years. It's going to be over. Listen, it's been 40 years now. That's just my calculation. That's not correct,
50.
obviously. Listen, 50. Listen, we could even take. I've seen clips of people like really rapping like in the 30s and 40s too. But it didn't.
I know. I saw that too.
It didn't have a name. It didn't really have a name. I think that with the collective of all the other influences from other places, it's still an African American made genre. Period. But that's another
in my opinion, and I'll take it back with just kind of looking, because I wasn't around, obviously.
Right, but I've seen them rapping. I've seen them.
No, that's not what I was referring to, man. I'm sorry. I wouldn't. No, I agree with you on that. And then you can even go back to Pig Meat Markham, who was, on wax, basically rapping. Yeah. But no, what I'm saying is from looking at the documentaries I've seen, when you have people who are actually putting together like an actual beat, taking a drum pattern, mixing it with some strings, mixing it with some whatever you call that, the composition of it, right? And then tailoring your sound to that specific beat. To me, that's what hip hop is, right? So I know this is gonna sound crazy. So looking at people like Grandmaster Caz, like those guys, to me, are the originators of hip hop. Not necessarily,
they're
anybody
pioneers.
Yeah, anybody, right? Anybody prior to that, because they specifically engineered that for that sound. Now, other people they didn't do that. Like even with the whole Pig Meat Markham thing, that he wasn't doing it to be on beat, to do any iambic pentameter. He wasn't doing any of that. He was just rap, like just talking.
Bars, just spitting bars.
Right. So to me, man, that's when that started. And to be honest with you, I mean, those guys were the best at it. I mean, and then the next person,
we don't know if if they're the ones who really started it, because we always see a whole lot of behind the scenes things. Do you know how old I was before I found out about the Sugar Hill Gang? Listen, about that song.
Yeah.
Listen, I was at least 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
There's so much behind the scenes stuff that I don't think.
Well, no, but what I'm trying to say is
exactly who
people copy
Oh,
what
yeah,
they hear.
yeah.
So if you're hearing the Grandmaster Caz in the Furious 5, and then you're hearing the Juice Crew, then you're hearing Sugar Hill, you're copying that. Like Ice-T specifically said that he copied Schoolie D. So what I'm trying to say is that everybody copies the copy, and that's how hip hop was built. So because that's how hip hop is flaming out, shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
But look, check this out. Check this out, though. I'm gonna take you to a different level too.
You brought it full.
Reggae started like that too.
Yeah, full circle.
They started that from copying from R&B. That's how they got that shit.
Full circle. So the art form is coming full circle. The same thing that makes you can also be the same thing that sometimes breaks you.
Yeah, I know it took like an hour for to get to the point, but that's what I was trying to get to.
Right. Yeah. So no, and that's cool. I think you're right. I think hip hop has always been a genre. This is and I hate because there are so many people who love this art form, but refuse to acknowledge that this art form is one of the most borrowing from other art forms and other cultures ever.
Like, but hold up, that's a racist statement. I'm not, man. We about to get into some racial shit, man. I don't know if you're ready for that.
You can listen. I'm gonna agree with both of what you're saying, Jamar
I mean,
point. Yes,
he's
we
right.
did rap. It did from a lot of other, especially other musical genres. But if you really dig the root of those genres, look who really made them. Though. So to your
Right.
point,
But
I
hold
feel
up, Reggie, to take it deeper, right? We were systematically removed from owning equipment, from making our own songs,
yeah,
from doing certain things in
right,
music. So we were taken away from that. That was a gift that was taken away from us. So and then plus when you get into the whole racialization and redlining of city schools and where they had people live and forcing blacks to go to the projects and things,
right.
and our schools not having funding for us to have access to even these instruments to play these uh, orchestrated notes and to learn about things like that. Those things were stripped and taken away from us. So when records and 45s came out and they got into black homes, because you can afford a 45 before you can afford a TV, right? Or even a radio. You know what I'm saying? We heard these sounds and these things, and we're like, man, this is amazing. So, of course, when we had the opportunity to make music, who do we borrow from? Who do we reference from? Where do we get the drum patterns from? Where do we get them from? We go to those songs because that's what we heard.
But guess what, too, though?
And the only reason we heard that is because it was stripped away from us when we couldn't make our own.
But guess what, though?
So it's racist, man.
From us not having, listen, from us not having things, and this goes with anything, not just music, sports, anything like that. It makes you become better at those things because when you don't have things, you don't have nothing better to do but create shit.
Yeah.
From not having shit.
Grandmaster Flash. Yep,
right,
exactly.
Right. Can't start beating on shit and making motherfucking drums out of goddamn buckets and whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It makes you more creative. So sometimes those sounds from us not having that, us being stripped away from us, new shit got invented.
Yeah.
So, all right, as we get ready to wrap this up, I want to ask this question because it sounds like the starving artist is the most dangerous artist.
Absolutely.
A well-fed artist is the most dangerous to himself because that hunger, that drive, that when you create and you painting, even as a creator or poet, even with poetry, whatever case, poet, painting, making music, you're always, even you say you're creating for yourself, deep down, you're still always looking for someone to approve or like or respect or appreciate what you created. And once you become fed with that, because now a whole bunch of people are onto you, now you're the thing that drove you to become that art, that drove you at that time to become that artist, is now subsided. It's like it happens with rappers. Once they really making money, that's why some rappers they go 2-3 hours because they might have had a bad deal or whatever, and so like that. So they're still hungry, they're still surviving, they're still grinding. Ice Cube, it took Ice Cube 3-4 albums, solo albums, before he started tapering off and started going downward.
Oh yeah.
We'll
say about four albums.
4 albums, yeah. And so he started making the money, not only making the money from his art, from rap, he started making the money in doing other things surrounded by hip hop, acting.
Right. Once he started getting in movies, that's when it kind of
yeah. And so he can't find he can still rap and he can still write bars, but he can't find that fire and that passion that drove him to be the creative person he was.
I don't know if I agree, man.
Like it's hard to pull because that was your motivating factor, the escape, the motivating factor to like I'm creating this because like I got
kids to feed. If I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
If you listen to the War and Peace album, this is like 1999, 2000. Yeah. In my opinion, I think the perception of Ice Cube before that album came out, we're not seeing him as, rapper. We're seeing him as, he was in 3 or 4 major movies at that time, right? And 4 or 5 I don't want to say unmajor because Higher Learning was major, but it wasn't major. Like, what I'm saying? Yeah, Trespass. Well, not and Trespass. Good catch. I was referring to the one movie when he got pulled over by the cop, and the one cop was he pulled his gun out and was about to kill him because he thought he was a suspect in a robbery, but he really wasn't. So he was in like a lot of stuff. So look, Ice Cube look retarded.
Bro,
$70.
The album cover alone tells you
$70 for that shit.
Why you had to pull up the album cover? I'm mad.
Man, that's staff or whatever the fuck he got. He looked ridiculous.
Bro, the album cover alone tells you that like he was going, gone.
Yeah, I didn't believe in him no more.
Well, yeah, but his rapping skills had not diminished. The perception of him was changed. You know what I'm saying? That's
saying like he was always that rapper.
I can somewhat agree with you because I'm gonna tell you why.
No, stop, Reggie.
I said somewhat. I'm gonna tell you why. And the only reason why is because you're going to agree with me too, Jamar. At one point, I thought Ice Cube was the hardest motherfucker to ever walk the face of the goddamn.
Yes.
I swear to God, I said this guy was the hardest motherfucker ever. Especially when I seen that Check Yourself video. I said, "Oh, this."
Yeah.
But now, Ice Cube,
soft, son. You soft, dude.
Right. So that's I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah. So. But go ahead. I just wanted to put that out there. Like it wasn't his lyrics were still hard because you can even flip to the Badass album, Lyrical Rembrandt, Been That. So like the way he just
we were so hype about it because it sounded like the Cube of old.
But I'm saying that's because
how you want to go and spin that?
Nigga. I'm just saying he hadn't stopped spitting hard. It's just again the perception of him was changed. Like we're not looking at his albums and we're like, oh man, this dude on the cover.
But his delivery, everything about him changed because the
soundtrack was all right though.
He was angry, and the anger was gone.
His anger wasn't on every record. Have you heard Who's the Mac? Like he wasn't angry on that song.
Okay, like, a lot of his. But that's different when the mood changes because you rapping and spitting about like
My Summer Vacation. Like he wasn't angry on a lot of the records. I just think that's the perception. The perception that he was angry. And all of a sudden he's just not angry. The motherfucker's still angry. None of that ever changed. It's just again when you see him in all these movies and things, and then he comes out with a record talking about he gonna kill the president or something like that. You're like, man, no, you're not.
Bro, I knew it was over when I heard We Be Clubbing. As much as I like that song,
We Be Clubbing was the shit.
It was, but I knew that the Cube was gone. I was like, no.
Why can't the Cube club?
Because it was not today.
Wasn't you clubbing?
That was not the nigga that was breaking off Lil Joe, nigga.
But he was clubbing.
No, it's not the same.
Ain't 50 Cent a gangster? Wasn't he clubbing?
But we believe 50 Cent was getting still shot at.
We now know that 50 Cent definitely inflated those numbers. Inflated the fuck out of them numbers.
We don't believe you. You need more people. Like you felt it. Like you felt like.
Oh.
I bet you
really?
Listen, Jamar. I bet you had one of them goddamn G Unit tank tops, didn't you?
I did. I'm still, bro. I'm a loyal dude. Yeah, I was the last dude to like give up on Death Row, and that's only when they sold it. So
yeah, but hold up.
You ain't buy that Danny Boy album though.
Huh? If we keeping it all the way,
you ain't buy that Danny Boy album though.
I didn't either.
No,
right. I mean, you wasn't that loyal.
I never even saw it.
No, I couldn't get it. Jordy wouldn't get it from me from Oasis.
Yeah, Jordy was grown at that point.
That's Vivo's fault. He wouldn't get it from Oasis.
I was in our 20s probably at that point.
I don't know. Listen, by that time, bro, I was still there when they got Crooked Eye. I was still there when they got the other Doggy Dog, whatever that dude's name was. Top Dog. Like, bro, I was holding on. Yeah, I was there even with Spider Loc.
I forgot how much of a hater Suge used to be. Suge was a hater.
He really was. He hated Snoop, man.
Oh,
Like,
I remember the Death Row website when Snoop when Suge got out of jail. Like, all dogs take cover, pow, and it was like a red.
Remember that dead man walking?
Bro, I was a big G Unit fan. I was a big 50 fan. Like I did have that tank top. Like, listen, 100% facts. My bro probably still got the picture. You probably can pull it up.
I do. I got the picture when you was up against the car with the G Unit tank top.
Yeah, I had the cursive T-shirt though. But
listen,
I mean, we all had some G Unit something, man.
Reggie, don't be bro. You was a fan of that one nigga that had that song. I wish I was a little bit taller.
Skilo.
Now,
why, listen, I'm 6'4". Why would I do that?
Because you always rooting for the little dude. I'm joking, bro. Nah, bro. Listen, with hip hop, I mean, okay, as we get ready to close this out, I love hip hop, but that's why I fell in love with hip hop back then, because it wasn't all everybody trying to sound the same. And it was like you got clowns for trying to rap, steal somebody else's style at some point in time back then. Like, yo, he nothing but a clown, he nothing but a copycat. Like, he ain't original, he a sucker MC. Like, he trying to sound like me, he biting my style, he biting my flows. Like, he trying to get my producer. Like, we loved MC Light didn't sound like Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper didn't sound like Queen Latifah. Boss didn't sound like none of them. Yo-Yo sounded like Yo-Yo. Like, we loved, because it made you feel like those artists, you could grab an artist and that artist was your artist because you liked that artist's style. And you liked what that artist brought to the game, the originality.
The Far Side, and what's the other group?
Oh, Tribe Called Quest?
No.
Man.
They sounded just alike. What was their names?
About the Far Side?
Yeah, it was a group that was pretty much a copycat of them. I can't think of what they're called. It'll come to me later.
Yeah, I didn't remember nobody copying the Far Side.
Mm-hmm. The high pitched voice.
You talking about Cypress Hill? Are you?
Could have been Cypress Hill because nobody sound like Cypress Hill, except for
maybe. I don't know who he's talking about.
Maybe House of Pain came close to Cypress Hill, but even them, they were so Irish, and Cypress Hill was more Mexican, Spanish influence.
I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard Cypress Hill,
Ahmad.
Who?
Ahmad.
Oh, the rapper Ahmad.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid. Think about the way they start rapping. How the one dude sound.
I bought his album, man. I know it, but I didn't get that. And I like the Far Side too. I never.
Maybe the same genre of hip hop, but I don't think he was trying to sound like them. And whatever
they sound just alike. Ahmad and the Far Side sound just.
Well, I mean, but that's what hip hop. That's when hip hop started breaking off to, like, you had your backpacker crew, and then you had your gangster rappers, and then you had your it broke off into things, and everybody kind of had, like, you kind of could genre it, like Far Side, Tribe Called Quest, like they all had, like, you could categorize them. So, like, yo, throw those dudes over here in this category, but it wasn't like Far Side didn't sound like Tribe. Leaders of the New School didn't sound like Tribe. What's the name of the dudes? Just another PTA, whatever the case. All the dudes, the one
De La Soul.
De La Soul. Like, yeah, everybody, but they were all like, you could genre or categorize them, but they didn't sound like each other.
Yeah. De La Soul and the Tribe Called Quest was similar though. Similar,
yeah. So I say this. I understand now as an adult for the need of the parental advisory sticker. I understand now as an adult how influential hip hop music period can be to you as a young impressionable mind. I understand now the responsibility as a parent to filter and siphon through what your children consume. As a child, I thought my parents were hating. but I didn't realize how impressionable me and my brother was. Like, yo, we was like, my bro was like listen, my bro got whooped one time because he was in the shower singing Cypress Hill, and he like, I like to get high, so high. Bro, you was like, what, 12 at the time, maybe?
Yeah.
12. Your 12-year-old kid in the shower screaming, singing, I like to get high, my nigga. Like, that's no.
I mean, I didn't know what it meant.
Yes, you did at 12. Yes, you
No, I
did.
didn't. I really didn't. Like Jamar tell you, like I just liked the song. We was listening to Cypress Hill, like, because we stole Uncle Terry's tape, and it was dope.
We was still virgins sitting there screaming, I can't help it because I love black pussy. Like
Listen.
DJ Quick.
Yeah.
Like, we never got no ass back then. But
Okay. I'm gonna give you that you never got none, but you're not gonna convince me at 12 years old you didn't know what the fuck it was, bro.
Like, I didn't equate.
We knew what vagina was, but we never knew to the extent of exactly what that like was. Like, because you can't come up with
I didn't.
You might have been fucking back then.
No, I knew. Listen, this is what I knew.
We knew it was fucking. We knew it was sex.
Yeah, this is what I knew. I knew this for sure. At 12 years old, I knew I wasn't getting it. That's what I knew.
I didn't equate the phrase "I like to get high" with smoking anything. I just didn't equate the two.
Hey, listen, Jamar. One day when I was in the 7th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fletcher Weaver and Christian Rinaldi. I'll never forget it. So, okay, so you know what I'm talking about. They had 2 joints, and they told me, let's go to the bathroom and go smoke. And they invited me. And I was scared, and I didn't go. Okay, so listen. They got caught. And this is how they caught them, because they smelled their hands. And this is how I can prove to you that what I'm telling you is true. That's why they sent Fletcher to Hillman. Remember?
Yo, wait. Fletcher ended up at Harding, too.
Yeah, but Harding is before Hayes. When we was at Hayes, you
talking about Hillman junior high.
Yes, they sent him to Hillman because him and Christian Rinaldi got caught smoking weed in the bathroom. Both of them are older than me. So at that time, I was 11 years old. I had been known what weed and shit was at that point.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't.
Bro, we didn't. Bro, we were just happy to figure it out. We would hear shit and be like, wait, what's that about? Like, we understood that girls had vaginas or pussy. Yeah. We knew that. But you don't understand like the thing of it until you get older and you look back like, yo, why was I 12 years old talking about 11, 12 years old talking about I can't help it because I love black pussy.
I can agree with you because I definitely wasn't getting it at 11, 12 years old. But I was trying to. I do that shit.
Oh, bro, listen, dude. Hey, brother, men, we spend half our whole young life trying to give away our virginity. Girls spend their whole damn time trying to keep that shit. We be like, please take it. You can have it. Please, right here. I got virginity it ain't even for sale. You can have it.
For 2 pumps.
Huh?
For 2 pumps.
2 pumps. Man, she lucky she get 8 pump back then. I just been happy to dive in. Like,
I got my first time I gave her 3 of the damnness, and I feel like I'm the man.
It's wild. Yo, so I say this to say that I love hip hop. I love the lessons that it taught me, the experiences that it has given me. Yeah. But I also have learned about the irresponsibleness of those within the art form and some of the lessons that they have inadvertently taught or exposure that they have inadvertently given. And so I as an adult, I understand when people like to be like, whether it's athletes, rappers, whoever, I'm not a role model. You don't want to be a role model till it's time to sell some shit. Till it's time for motherfuckers to buy some shit because they idolize you or they think that you are the shit. I understand that now. I understand that I didn't give a fuck about a hockey jersey until I seen Snoop Dogg on the front of a bike with Daz pedaling that nigga down the street with that Pittsburgh Penguins hockey jersey on. And bro, you from PA, but you was living in Ohio back then, and we from Ohio, and Pittsburgh is right there. Ain't nobody think about having no damn hockey jersey back in for us. Hell no. We seen that shit and we was like, nigga, we seen that fro. Everybody had their little boxes and whatever other haircuts we had back then. We seen the fro, we seen the cornrows, and we was like, that's it.
Yeah, no doubt.
We heard the Chronic, and we wanted to know what that marijuana leaf was all about. Niggas seen Juice, niggas seen the fucking all them hood ass movies back then. Boys in the Hood. Yeah, Boys in the Hood. And it was like, yo, they became like entrenched, like we want to imitate that more than ever. And it took off like a match to freaking gasoline.
Yeah.
The influential minds, like we seen that shit. We thought that was hard.
That's when gangbang shit started too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Seeing that too.
Yeah,
Facts.
we seen that shit. Like we're so impressionable. And I understand now the need for parental. Bro, see Dolores Tucker. I'm so sorry. And Tupac is my favorite artist of all time. But I understand what they were saying and trying to get us to understand about the art form back then. I understand it now. Like, yo, like, listen to how these kids are. My child loves she used to be cool, smart, whatever case. She started listening to the one kid.
Oh, I'm tired.
He used to rap about depression shit all the time.
XX.
Not XXX, the other one from Chicago. He swallowed all them pills on the plane because he didn't want to get caught.
Juice
WRLD. Juice WRLD. All of a sudden, and she got a good life, spoiled, don't want for shit. I'm depressed. I don't feel right. I'm like, what are you depressed about?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm like, what are you missing? And so you can't take mental health for granted. So you try to respect it, but it's like I had to look like, what are we exposing her to?
Yeah, but you gotta, with that, we got freedom of speech. I'm not gonna say that everything in hip hop is right that people should say, but at the same time, it's perfectly fine to have a KKK rally right down the middle of the fucking street, spreading hate, saying nigger, 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 die, 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 and it's freedom of speech. So I can't really say nothing about when people saying things in hip hop. I do agree that it's pushing violence, it's pushing drugs, especially rappers like Future. Like, why are you always talking about drugs that you don't even fucking do? I'm not telling you to go out there and do these drugs, but you capping, saying in your rhymes that you doing this Molly Percocet, and then you going and telling the whole world, "Oh, I really don't do it." So, what is your point if you doing this? Are you trying to get everybody hooked on dope in America?
It made them money, bro. They didn't care. They didn't look, and maybe they were too young and they didn't understand. I don't think
he's over 30 doing that shit. That motherfucker our age.
I still don't think he understood. I still think he was like, just because they've made it and made money, I still think that they're still victims or prisoners of the moment, prisoners of the dollar. Like, I don't believe that a lot of them realize like their impact or that they're influencing. They just think like, I'm rapping about my shit.
Yeah, hang on. Plus, Reggie, like what he said was, he didn't want people to know he stopped using those drugs because he didn't want them to stop liking his music. Right. That's what he was saying. He wasn't saying that he never did it. He was saying he was scared to admit that he stopped.
No, and that's true. What I'm saying is like, but he's still presenting as if
I got you.
So he got better health wise, knew it was unhealthy, but he still kept doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's making me think, like, are these pharmaceutical companies paying you, or are these drug dealers paying you, or is no,
it's free advertising. It's free. They didn't have to try hard. He did it himself because he was afraid to lose his audience. They didn't have to try hard. It was free advertisement. They was like, yo, continue on. Why would I pay you until I actually need you, because you might stop and tell everybody it's bad. So I don't need you to do that. No, like continue to lie. Continue to pop mollies. Continue to pop Perkins.
No doubt.
Continue to do. Rappers give it all the time.
Yeah, that's facts.
True. That's true. They getting used too.
Yeah, they get used. So we about to wrap this up, and as we wrap this up, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into don't hashtag this. Where's the brand at? Can you pull it up, bro? While I pull up my don't hashtag this.
Yeah.
Okay, AAA listeners, it's time for Black V to present Don't Hashtag This. I repeat, don't hashtag this. And now your co-host, Black V.
Greetings and salutations to all my Negroes and all my motherfucking homies. This is brought to you by Truth Entertainment Films. And on this, don't hashtag this for this episode is going to be hashtag, don't hashtag this, hashtag money over everything. I repeat, don't hashtag money over everything.
MOE.
MOE. You don't hashtag money over everything because money is not over health. Money is not over peace of mind. Money is not over having still your loved ones, your best people in your life still. There's not a dollar amount that someone could give me to tell me that I'm about to lose my mother, my brother, or any of the people that I truly love in my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a price tag. I can be bought. But there are certain people that I will not, for no dollar amount, give up. I have principles. And again, hashtag money over everything is why, that's not why, but is an example of why people came up with the term sellout. Okay? It doesn't matter if you made a whole bunch of money. If you sell your soul, your principal beliefs, or sell out your people, or sell out the movement, or sell out the growth of your people, your group, your organization that you are with, you are a sellout. I don't care if they gave you 1 billion or 2 billion. Bob Johnson, you're a sellout 2 times over. And there are so many more that I will call sellouts because Russell Simmons, sellout. Def Jam meant so much more in Black ownership hands than it ever could have meant in their hands. Fat Farm meant so much more in our hands than it ever could have meant in their hands. What we have to understand with this money over everything is this. The man, and I'm not going to put it on a racial thing, the man who is in charge, that runs the world, don't care about the dollar sign. It's about control and ownership. They will quickly give you money because they own every damn thing else. And all you're going to do with that money is turn around and buy other things from them. You're going to buy your Maybach from them. That house in some town or whatever case, you're going to buy it from them and probably have them and their companies or their relatives' companies build it for you. Their clothes, their watches, their jewelry, their socks, their drawers. It's always ownership is the key. And if you don't have that, then you don't have the influence or the ability to do like those when they want to call you anti-Semite and they want to get rid of you, whether you are or you're not, they can. You want to know why they can get rid of you? Because they have the control and the ownership and the ability to flex their muscle to get rid of you. Without that, you have nothing. And it's to them, yes, money helped them equate and get that, but they use that money to acquire ownership. We need to value the ownership and correct ownership. So therefore, that allows us to have power. That allows us to not only have power amongst us, but power to be able to fight with them or to be able to protect ourselves. Malcolm X was fighting for us to be able to be in a position to have power amongst ourselves. Not saying that he never wanted us to work with them, but when we came to them, we weren't begging to get in their programs. We weren't begging for them to give us handouts or to do things in their terms. We came to the table as partners with something else to offer. They didn't get rid of Black Wall Street because it was like, oh, they're making all this money. No, they got rid of Black Wall Street because Black Wall Street was empowering us to not have to rely and depend on them. So again, don't hashtag money over everything, because it's not money over ownership. It's not money over the freedom to be able to create and control your own destiny, your own narrative, or to be able to control the information that is given to your people and the access that we can gain. There you
Preach.
go. So I almost felt like I sounded like oh boy, which I didn't sound like. This is silly sucker sissies. What's his name?
X-Clan.
X-Clan.
I bought that album too.
Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm Black V. That's Reggie yawning. That's the 80. Triple A podcast. Please check us out on Mondays for Triple A Sports. Shit gets raw. Shout out to Miguel. We go hard. We go home. We gonna get ish. I'm gonna get ish on Triple A Sports, man. I'm gonna keep on trying, bro.
Let's do it.
We gonna make it happen. Shout out to Teran. He's gonna be a guest with us again next Monday on Triple A Sports. Shout out to Product of the 80s. Shout out to It's a Hard Knock Life. Shout out to
Annie.
Pussy Talks.
Salute Annie.
Truth Entertainment Films, The Madam and the Major coming out soon. Yo, please, I promise you more information is coming on that so you can help donate to the cause. So we're just trying to tell a people's story and give it some truth, some validity, and some honesty to it, and put it into a way that y'all can see and understand that what's going on in Haiti is still going on. And these people have been a part of the fight to even get it to where it's at now. So I want to thank y'all. God bless y'all. Good night.
Good night. Salute.